to the Democratic side tonight and to a critical moment for Hillary Clinton. Can she finally close the deal, or will there be another surprise like Michigan? Overnight, during a town hall, Mrs. Clinton acknowledging she's not very good at this part of it, the campaigning, and went on to explain why. You will hear from her in a moment. Meantime, a confident Bernie Sanders fueled by Michigan, hoping for another upset against Clinton. And tonight here, a new poll showing Hillary Clinton with a slight edge in Ohio, but that lead even smaller than what the polls showed going into Michigan. ABC's Cecilia Vega with the Clinton acknowledging her weaknesses on the trail.
Hillary Clinton in Chicago turning an attack on Donald Trump into a campaign rallying cry.
That people who run for president ought to unite our country, not divide our country.
But before Trump, Bernie Sanders, now closing the gap in Ohio.
A few weeks ago, people were saying Bernie Sanders winning Ohio. No way.
Encroaching on Clinton's lead.
We have a good vote tomorrow. People come out. We're going to win here in Ohio.
A Buckeye State loss not enough to block Clinton's path to the nomination, but it would be an embarrassing setback and a reminder of the Vermont senator's strength among young voters. SNL this weekend joking that Clinton is morphing into Sanders to win over that coveted group.
I know you millennials. You're fired up. You're angry. And I'm angry too. Because the top 10% of the top 1% control 90% of the wealth in this country. And I've always said that.
Clinton admits she still struggles to connect with some voters, insisting she's not a natural campaigner like her husband or President Obama.
I watch my husband campaign. I watch President Obama campaign. It is poetry. I mean, it is just, I get carried away, and I've seen them a million times, I go, oh my gosh, both of them. That's not necessarily my forte.
And Hillary Clinton isn't the only one with a lot riding on tomorrow. Bernie Sanders needs to win states, and he needs to win delegates in order to stay in this race. And that is why he is outspending Clinton in TV ads in every state except for one, heading to the polls tomorrow. David?
Cecilia Vega with us tonight. Cecilia, thank you. Let's get right to ABC's Jonathan Karl tonight with the bottom line here. The two states John is watching tomorrow that could determine it all on the Republican side. And John, if Donald Trump wins Florida and wins Ohio, will he be the nominee?
David, we've done the math, and by our calculations, if Trump wins both Ohio and Florida tomorrow, he will be well on his way to clinching the Republican nomination. He'll still need to win 54% of all delegates going forward, but that will be much easier, as both Marco Rubio and John Kasich would almost certainly drop out after losing their home states.
But Trump would be well on his way, as you point out. In the meantime, let me ask it this way. If Trump loses Ohio, say to John Kasich, then what do we have?
Well, if he loses Ohio, and the latest polls do give John Kasich a slight lead there, it makes it highly likely, even probable, that he would have to fight to get the nomination all the way to a contested Republican convention this summer in Cleveland.
All right, John Karl with us tonight. John, we'll see you tomorrow night. And one more image that caught our eye, Hillary Clinton on the trail, often with a harsh critique of the Bush administration, and then this image just surfacing today. Sharing an embrace, former President George W. Bush there hugging and laughing with Clinton before Nancy Reagan's funeral service last week. Former residents of the White House, perhaps with more in common than we often think.